So, welcome everyone. I'm Alexander Mihalcea, and today we're joined by Tanya, CEO of Bitmedia. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
Before we dive in, could you give us a quick overview of what Bitmedia does?
We're an advertising platform, and what we do is we run ads on behalf of our clients for different crypto businesses. We are different from other advertising networks because we operate in one niche only, and this is crypto. This is the focus we decided to take from the very beginning, and this is the focus we still have right now. And this is where we plan to develop in the nearest future. So basically, it works like Google Ads, but the main focus for us is the crypto audience.
Okay, that's fascinating. And what inspired you to create Bitmedia? Was there a specific moment or experience that sparked this journey?
Well, I wasn't the person creating Bitmedia. So the founder is Bitcoin Maxi, and
Okay,
he's the true Bitcoin crypto OG. He was in the niche from the very beginning, and not from the very beginning, well, from very, very early days. And Bitmedia was created in 2014. Just there was nothing like no advertising platform present back
right.
then. And when the idea was born, when Bitmedia was created, there were just a few, but very small ones. But at that moment, there was already a need for some kind of crypto marketing and crypto advertising in the niche. Because it was the time when most of businesses were being created and when crypto exchanges and other kind of businesses needed some kind of advertising and promotion, but at the same time, the audience was very limited. So Bitcoin audience and crypto audience was like the people who were visiting particular websites only, and getting them once again on like some traditional advertising platform was very difficult. And it was the volumes of advertising were very, very small, as well as the volumes of
Right.
audience were very, very small. So it was just like I don't know, a few thousands of impressions a day,
hmm
not the thing we have right now. So it was very small and very, very niche.
Okay, and what user background before starting this venture?
Well, my background was advertising and I was into advertising back then, but I was mainly studying the conversional ads and I was trying to work in that field. Yeah, advertising.
Right, perfect. And let's go back to when you first started. What major challenges or gaps did you see in the market that made you think this needs to be solved?
Well, the main challenge was it was difficult to find advertisers and it was difficult to find publishers, and they were a bit different. And for us, a very difficult thing was if you compare crypto advertising back then to conventional advertising, digital advertising, I mean, conventional advertising works under some specific terms, let's say. So, for
Right.
example, there is some specific payment terms and terms of how you count impressions, which technologies you use, and so on and so forth. For crypto advertising back then, with most of websites, nothing like this existed, and they were charging like per month. And when you ask them how much traffic you have and what is the CPM, the cost per
Mm-hmm.
mile per thousand impressions, they said like I don't know. And it was very, very difficult for us to count how much it could be, to think like what the price would be, and it was very, very challenging. Another thing is that traffic was and still is, like crypto traffic is rather expensive if you compare it to the traditional traffic. There are some cheaper media outlets and cheaper platforms where you can advertise, but crypto traffic in general, because of the limited audience and because of the difficulty to get this audience, it was very and it is very, very expensive. So these are the challenges that we have in our niche.
Okay, I get it. And I have a curiosity by then. What are the unique challenges traditional financial institutions face when marketing to crypto audiences?
Usually, it is the difficulty to understand the audience because traditional financial institutions, they have different marketing approaches and generally different approaches. If you're targeting your ads to crypto audience, you should understand what they are about, because crypto people and the community in general, they are a bit different from traditional finance, and this is the thing you have to bear in mind when you're creating advertising messages, when you're thinking where to look for this particular audience. And yeah, this is the very important thing that you should, I think, start with. And secondly, you should also understand that it is not often the case that if you do something from traditional marketing, like traditional PR wires or something like this, that you will be able to reach the conventional,
Right.
the crypto audience.
Okay. And what's been the most effective way you've seen companies build trust with crypto communities?
Well, the most effective way, I mean, generally, crypto communities, when it comes to crypto project, the communities is very important, and trust is very important here because we have, like, there was a history of numerous rug pulls in the crypto space, and lots of other people are actually a bit biased because of
Right.
crypto, just because of these happenings. So when you have a project, the very big part of your attention should be devoted to building community, building trust. So you should direct your marketing activities to community building, like really a lot. It means that you should talk to these people, you should look how to reach out to them, and you should find relevant platforms like Discord for this, or you should go to Twitter and look for also influencers who can bring you traditionally, like some of these
Mm-hmm.
audience additionally. So this is very important to talk to them, to find them, and to look at what they are talking about you, what they are proposing, because lots of projects as well discuss their product with the community, and
Yeah.
they discuss their product plans with the community, and based on what the community wants, what people see is important, they uh, like based on this information, they make the roadmaps and the plans for developing their products too.
So, could you elaborate on why the existing solution weren't meeting these needs?
Back then, well, like when it comes to building a community, there is basically no suggestion, a solution. You should just do it yourself by scratch. Right now, if we're talking about advertising, the needs weren't met because it was difficult to find these relevant people and bring them to their product. Back then in 2014, 2015, and until actually 2017, there was a huge forum. It was called, and it is still exists, but it's not that active anymore. It is called Bitcoin Talk. It's
Mm-hmm.
first and the biggest, largest crypto forum. And back then, you could see people gathering around and discussing some ideas. This is the place where, like, first crypto trades happened, where first crypto projects were being discussed, and
Interesting.
after that people were actually building these projects based on what existed, they could, like, how they connected and what they came up with. And so the needs were not met because the platform couldn't satisfy all of those needs. And by the way, original crypto advertising was born on that forum too. This is the place where people had, like, some stuff like signatures. The forum
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have any beautiful interface or something like this. It is super old, and they had signatures. And if you have a really trustworthy account, some businesses would pay you some money in bitcoins, of course, so that you could place their banner or their logo into that signature, so that you would be promoting their product. So basically, there was no need, not no need, no solution back then for crypto advertising.
Okay, okay. So, walk us through how Bitmedia addresses these challenges. What makes your approach unique?
Well, I think that our approach when it comes to banner advertising is, it is not unique. It is just that we're focused on one kind of audience. And back then it was just digital advertising for crypto. So it worked technologically. It was the same as any other traditional advertising platform, but the difference was just the audience. And of course, we were getting payments for our services in bitcoins. Back then, it was just bitcoins, and Bitcoin was, like, really cheap. It was like 200, $250, and so yeah, and we had some clients who were paying something like 10 bitcoins per week per advertising, which right now, if you count it
Yeah,
into what
yeah,
bitcoin
yeah.
costs now, it is like a super high amount of money. So yeah, this is probably the only thing which made us unique. And we didn't do, from the very beginning, we didn't do any blockchain activities, or we didn't tried to put advertising on blockchain. We tried it later though in 2017 when it was the ICO hype and everyone was doing stuff on blockchain, and we were really studying how we could properly do it. As for back then, it was just crypto advertising, like traditional advertising for crypto money and for crypto audience.
And for example, how role does blockchain data play in modern crypto marketing strategies?
Right now, this is the time when crypto, like generally blockchain data, starts to play a bigger role, because over these years, the projects and the niche have generally evolved, and there are so many different projects. Because back then, if you look at the earlier times, it was just mainly people were trying to build wallets, and exchanges just generally try to give you some chance to own some crypto and to exchange it. And right now there is more and more infrastructure happening around the crypto, and there are lots of different projects that appeared. We have Web3 games, we have NFTs, we have lots of other projects that rely on blockchain data. So right now, over these few years, on-chain data is very important, and if you analyze it and if you gather it correctly, you can actually try to target the most relevant people within the audience. Because on blockchain, if you have like wallet addresses, and you do have them because this is an open info, you don't know who exactly, like which particular person that this is, like Sam Smith owning this Bitcoin wallet in most of cases, but you can actually, if you have the wallet and the information from this wallet, you can analyze everything. You can analyze how much money person has on this wallet, which smart contracts the person is interacting with, which
Mhm.
platforms the person uses. Does he like trading? Does he like collecting NFTs? Does he like gambling, for example? And many, many other things. And for conventional advertising, it is also a challenge because it is difficult to target people based on particular interests,
Mhm.
unless you are going to Google or Facebook or
Yeah,
all of these monopolical large platforms, because they have a lot of data within their platform. Google knows
yeah, yeah,
everything. And for a smaller advertising network, building interest-based and demographical targeting is very difficult, and it's not really precise because you don't have your own data you could rely on. So this is where blockchain can actually step in and help, because you can have all of this information based on what user does with his wallets and which websites he uses.
Okay, okay, I get it. And for example, when you talk to potential clients, what's the biggest misconception they typically have about what you do?
Sometimes they don't understand what advertising is, if we're talking about the clients from the niche, and you have to explain them how it works
Yeah.
generally. But it all depends who you're talking to, and this all comes to this. But with larger companies, what happened to us a few times already is that they often really like large crypto companies that they're well known beyond the crypto community, so to say. And they often hire really cool marketers from traditional sphere that used
Mhm.
to work for really cool companies. This is very nice. They have probably their approaches, but for us, the difficulty was that they are still, despite the fact that they are working for a crypto company right now, they are kind of biased to the crypto itself, and they have these associations like, where will my ads be shown? Will they be shown to on some like adult websites or something else? And this is what you have to explain, because like the crypto niche is not about I don't know, Milk Road,
Right, right,
Silk
right.
Road. Sorry, Road, and it's not about anything illegal. This is another misconception you have when you're talking to someone who's coming from traditional business or
Okay,
traditional
okay.
finance.
And could you share a specific success story or client who saw significant results using your solution?
Well, I'm not really sure that I can name the platforms, but we're working with, just as I said, with lots of different types of businesses. And we had a case of some meme coins coming to us who were basically launching their coin back then, and we were creating a plan for them of how they could do this to support their marketing activities. So we were dividing their budget and directing it into advertising. Apart from advertising, we also do influencer marketing a lot, and we also do press releases. So we were combining these things so that the audience would know more about them and would start getting interested in it, especially if the project is new. Just as I said, trust is plays a very important role. And here, if you can find the right influencer, the right person to promote your product or to tell something about your product, you can get a lot of audiences, a lot of audience, a lot of new users coming from it. This is we had a few cases with meme coins coming to us, and we were doing these things, and we constantly work with large exchanges, and we have records of working with exchanges like really large who started out in, let's say, 2017, when there was the ICO period, and until even right now we do work with them. So we do bring conversions, and we do bring traffic, relevant traffic for them.
Okay, okay. And looking at the broader industry, what key trends are you seeing emerge?
Right now, if we look at the broader industry, well, AI, I think AI is the thing that
Right.
generally is becoming a trend in absolutely any kind of any business or anything you make, because after Google, probably there was no other tool that helped so many people so much at the same time. Because if you talk to ChatGPT, you can use it like for basically any kind of purpose, and it can help absolutely everyone. So I think that right now the key trend is emerging, and that is going to be probably very talked about during this bull run, is the AI and application of AI to blockchain. There are lots of AI agents right now in absolutely different, like they are used for absolutely different purposes. They are used in gaming and trading, and I think that AI will be big. Another thing is gaming, Web3 games. It was a trend during the last bull run when NFTs were talk of the town, so to say, and back then, everyone was talking about building a metaverse or building a
Right.
Web3 game, but nobody actually made any which would work properly. And I think that if you look at investments which are being poured into the industry right now, gaming is getting a lot of investments, and it was the niche which was getting a lot of investments, even despite the whole crypto winter from happening from 2020 until what we had like 2024. So I think that this will be, in my opinion, this will be the two trends.
Right. And how do you think the integration between traditional and crypto marketing will evolve?
I think that right now, especially if we look at what is happening in the US, the way they're trying to become crypto friendly, and with all of this Bitcoin reserve thing,
Yeah.
traditional finance will definitely go into crypto niche, because this is additional business, additional money for them. And I think that taking into account the current happenings in the US, it will be easier for a traditional finance to join the crypto niche, so to say. And so I think that generally, well, payments with crypto are much easier, and I think the traditional finance will definitely, there may be some new coins that will emerge, or new tokens, or like the traditional finance companies may come up with this. And it is also so that usually lots of businesses and financial businesses can rely on blockchain in their procedures. So it will be probably easier to do this, because blockchain can help not just for sending money or something
Hmm.
like this. If you look at it broadly, this is a database where you can store any information, and probably some smart contracts from may appear that traditional finance businesses would be interested in. I think that this is the thing that can happen.
Okay. And for example, how are these trends affecting how businesses operate in our space?
How are these trends effective for just generally crypto
Yeah.
businesses, you mean? Well, I think that this is good for crypto businesses, because generally the current trend with crypto adoption is very good, if you say so, because it is easier in terms of legal restrictions. There were lots of cases happening, like with the SEC just suing some crypto companies, and right now these cases were dropped. This is good for the niche, because more people can join the niche, and it also is good for wider crypto adoption, because crypto is something which starts being associated with something trustworthy right now. Because if you have, for example, countries
Hmm.
discussing the fact if they should adopt Bitcoin reserves or if they should add any kind of crypto to their reserves. This adds trust to the whole niche, to crypto, and this helps wider adoption. So for current businesses, these trends are very, very good because it opens the door to bring the larger amount of people in and to make more people use their product and try it out and understand actually what it is.
Right, right. And for example, in your opinion, what do you think most business owners are getting wrong when they're trying to address this specific problem?
The problem with
Yeah, yeah,
well, I think that the main thing is which we have within the crypto industry, and well, the main thing about the mass adoption of crypto is the fact that it is difficult to understand what it is actually,
yeah,
what it is Bitcoin, what is crypto, how to use it correctly. Because even if we look about at the current crypto audience, most of people who use crypto don't understand how it works. They don't understand what blockchain is, how it works,
yeah,
how their wallet works, how to back up their wallet. And this is also the thing which is not really helping the growth, because if you hear like, I was scammed for this amount of money, it often happens. Not, yeah, there are lots of rug pulls and lots of these cases in crypto, but apart from that, there are also lots of lack of knowledge of people who are using crypto because they
yeah,
don't know and they don't think which contracts, like smart contracts, they are using, which, like, how to set up their wallet correctly, how to store this information correctly. And this is the thing which is not really helping the crypto growth. I think that in order to, like, in the perfect world, so it would be cool if people would be more into like understanding how it properly works, or if businesses would also pay more attention to uh, teaching people what crypto is, like Binance, for example.
yeah, yeah,
They have this crypto education initiative in actually many countries, and this is really cool, especially when it comes to countries where economy is not that developed. Because if you have high inflation rates, it is sometimes better to rely on Bitcoin or something more stable. And they are teaching people how to use crypto so that they could actually use it in their daily life, so they could have some payments done by it and other things. So I think that education is very important, and this is the thing which is not really helping the developments within the niche and for most of the projects existing right now.
Okay, and what advice would you give to business owners who want to stay ahead of these changes?
Well, I think that I would advise to definitely educate about the project that you have. Another thing is that I would definitely advise to talk about different difficult things in simple words, because often you come to someone to talk what their product is about and they're explaining it to you in some really cumbersome way, and you think that, wait, then what it is, and you have no clue what
Yeah.
the person is actually building. So being able to explain what you're trying to do in simple words would be also more and more attractive for audience, and making your messages understandable for everyone would also attract your audience. And another advice is not to be afraid of introducing something like brand new, because sometimes it can be very useful for people.
Okay. And as we wrap up, what's next for Bitmedia? Any exciting developments on the horizon?
Well, for us right now, we're working a lot on on-chain targeting. We just recently introduced it in the end of this year. And this is the main plan for us. And we plan to develop in the niche. And what we plan is to go beyond the existing inventory that we have and partner with larger conventional advertising platforms so that we would be able to reach wider audience and help crypto businesses to reach their crypto audience targeted like on any other website which is not related to crypto. This is the biggest thing that we're working with right now. It involves Web3 audience, like
Hmm.
analyzing this on-chain data and collecting this information. And another thing is this involves retargeting, which we're working right now. This is also another thing. And we plan to use AI in our activities so that people would be able to optimize their campaigns and analyze their traffic and understand it better using AI, and hopefully create some assets for their ad campaign, because it is often the case that people don't have, like, businesses don't have designer in-house. They need some banners or some additional assets, and this is, I think, would be a cool thing to help with it.
And for listeners who want to learn or more potentially work with Bitmedia, what's the best way to get in touch?
The best way to get in touch is connecting with our Twitter and generally with our socials. This is Twitter on bitmedia /bitmedia_io, and reaching out to us, or you could go to our website, and we have live chat. We're quite fast in answering, and you could just drop us a line. We'll be happy to help you.
Perfect, perfect. So thank you for sharing those insights about you, your company, and about the whole story. And thank you for this amazing podcast session.
Thank you.
Great. So see you on the next episode. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.